Hi friends, in engineering physics, in the current discussion today, we look at some of the important materials that are used in making electrical and electronic engineering applications. So the very important materials related to electrical and electronic engineering materials is what is known as dielectric materials. Now, when we use the word dielectric, these are nothing but insulators. That means they prevent the flow of electric current through them. Because there is no conduction possibility in that. For conducting, you need free electrons. In any material, you need free electrons for conduction. In insulators or dielectric materials, there are no free electrons for conduction. Because all the electrons are tightly bound to the nucleus of the atom. Because the electrons are tightly bound to the nucleus of the atom, they are not free. They are very tightly bound. Now, when you suppose you have a dielectric piece of material, let us say you have taken a dielectric piece of material. Now, you kept this material, let us say, in an electric field. Remember, we represent electric field as E bar. So when you place a dielectric material in an electric field, then what happens is the charges we are talking about, that is positive and negative charges, they get separated. So whenever a dielectric material is kept in an electric field, the separation of positive and negative charges takes place in the dielectric. So this process of separation of positive and negative charges is what is known as polarization. Remember, this polarization is different from the polarization we come across in light. There also you can use the same thing. Ordinary ray and extraordinary ray are separated like this, like that. Whenever a dielectric material is placed in an electric field, positive and negative charges get separated. That causes something called polarization of the dielectric. That means dielectrics are characterized by the polarization, and also another important term we use, dielectric constant, which we shall come across later. So this dielectric constant and polarization are the most important characteristics of a dielectric material. That is the reason why these dielectric materials form very important group of electric and electronic engineering materials, right? But before going to further concept, let me make you understand some basic definitions. So unless we are thorough with these basic definitions, it's difficult to understand the concept of dielectric, right? Now in that, the first one we come across is something called dipole. We use the word electric dipole. What is meant by electric dipole? Very simple. You kept a negative charge here. At a certain distance, you kept another positive charge. That means two opposite charges of equal magnitude. You know, charge is represented by the alphabet small q. Therefore, this is minus q. This is plus q. Let us say they are separated by a distance r. So when you consider two opposite charges of equal magnitude, plus q and minus q, separated by a distance r, that means two opposite charges of equal magnitude separated by a finite distance. This is what that constitutes something called electric dipole. So electric dipole is nothing but two opposite charges of equal magnitude separated by a finite distance. Right? This is about electric dipole. The other one we come across is something called dipole moment. What is dipole moment? Dipole moment is represented by the alphabet mu. Remember, in physics, for various physical quantities, physical constants, etc., you come across certain symbols. In light, mu is a refractive index. In dielectric materials, we use the term mu for dipole moment. It is nothing but you have one charge, equal charges you are taking. So you take one of the charges, let us say plus q, and also the distance. Distance you may call it as r, or distance you may call it as length, whatever you call it. So therefore, the product of these two, that is mu, is equal to q into L. The product of one of the charges and the charge separating distance is what is to be defined as dipole moment. So dipole moment is defined as the product of one of the charges of the dipole and the distance of separation. It's a vector quantity. So it is pointing. Vector quantity means it should show direction. So remember that it is pointing from negative charge to positive charge. This is the direction of dipole moment. So if you take its units, charge is in coulomb, distance is in meter. So if you take charge, the units of this, it is coulomb meter. We represent as a cm, or this is same thing is what is known as dBi. dBi is the unit of dipole moment. dBi is nothing but coulomb meter. Practically, if you see, 1 dBi is equal to 3.3 into 10 power minus 30 coulomb meter. 3.3 into 10 power minus 30 coulomb meter is equal to 1 dBi. dBi is the SI unit of dipole moment. Right? This is one term we come across in dielectrics. Next, the other term you also need to understand something called permittivity. It is represented by the symbol epsilon. Now what permittivity represents basically? It represents easily polarizable nature of the dielectric or medium. If you take any medium or a dielectric material, how easy it is to polarize it. That is what is basically permittivity is all about. Permittivity always represents the easily polarizable nature of the dielectric substance or the medium. So the permittivity of the dielectric is denoted by the symbol epsilon. So whenever there is no medium, let us say, the so-called permittivity of free space, we all use the word free space. It is denoted by epsilon naught. Naught means there is no medium, free space. So if you look at the unit of this, it is farad per meter. If you look at the standard value of that, so if you see the value of permittivity, it is 8.854 into 10 power minus 12 farad per meter or farad meter inverse. This is the standard value. This value you need to remember, record properly, because this is required in many of the numericals you attempt the university. You come across to attempt numericals in university examinations. So epsilon naught, that is the permittivity of free space, right? And then another term we come across is what is known as dielectric constant. I told you earlier that it is the dielectric constant and the concept of polarization are the two important characteristics of dielectric materials, which made them to have very important applications in electrical and electronic engineering applications. To understand dielectric constant, you just take a capacitor. This capacitor is having air as medium. Let us say its charge. Charge is Q. And the plates of capacitor, you know there are two plates here. The distance of separation. Distance of separation is D. Okay? And the area of cross section of the plates, let it be A. And the potential difference you are giving to the plates, initial potential difference, let it be V naught. Okay? And due to that, let us say the electric field created, let it be E naught. So these are the assumptions to understand dielectric. I am taking a capacitor with air as a medium, and the plates are given a charge of Q, and the plates of the capacitor are kept at a distance of D. The area of cross section is A, and a potential difference of V naught is given to that. Due to that, the field created be E naught. Let me show in the form of a diagram. I am taking a parallel plate capacitor with two opposite charges on either side. As we know, the charge resides on the surface. Naturally, when there is no external field, it is uniformly distributed across. This you are already familiar in your static electricity of undergraduate level. Now this, what I mean by saying air as a medium, and Q is the charge, and the distance of separation is D. To this I am giving a potential difference of V naught, and because of that I am getting a field of E. Right? Now from this we can say, then you can calculate the capacity of this, because everything is air medium, therefore naught is the symbol I am using. What is its capacitance? Capacitance is nothing but the charge by the voltage. So therefore charge is Q, potential difference is V naught. Now you have given this area of cross section as A. So in terms of area of cross section, with area of cross section and the permittivity, product of that can replace charge. So you can say, you can write this same C naught in terms of distance of separation and area of cross section multiplied by epsilon. So you can find capacitance like this. You can also find capacitance using this formula. This is the area of cross section, this is permittivity and the distance of separation, where epsilon naught is what? Permittivity of the free space. Now imagine this particular dielectric into this capacitor. I am introducing a dielectric material. So opposite charges are induced into the two faces of the dielectric, which are very close to the charge plates. So therefore, what am I trying to do is same capacitor, plus and in this side we have minus rest is same. This is the distance of separation and you are giving a potential of V naught, cross section is A, etc. Now I am introducing a dielectric material into this capacitor. So this is the dielectric I am introducing into the capacitor. So when the dielectric is introduced into the capacitor, opposite charges are induced into the two faces of the dielectric, which are closer to the charged place. That means here you will find opposite charge being induced inside the dielectric. Here opposite charge is induced inside the dielectric. Now carefully observe, this will constitute something what we call as dipole. Opposite charges of equal magnitude separated by a finite distance as per the definition. Now here the polarization takes place and that field will act in this direction. Your electric field will be in this direction. Induced electric field will be in the direction. That means into the capacitor which we have described earlier, in this situation, if we introduce a dielectric material into the capacitor, opposite charges are induced into the two faces of the dielectric which are close to the charged place. These induced positive and negative charges are acting as dipoles. Therefore, it has a net dipole moment. So this phenomenon is what is known as dielectric polarization. I'm repeating. Whenever you introduce a dielectric material into the capacitor, opposite charges are induced into the two faces of the dielectric which are close to the charged plates. Therefore, these induced positive and negative charges act as dipoles, and because of that, it has a net dipole moment. This phenomenon is what is known as dielectric polarization. So therefore, due to the dipoles, what are you getting? You are getting a dipole moment means resultant potential difference, whatever is there, it decreases. Remember, because the field is in this direction, it is opposing. Therefore, resultant potential difference decreases. Whenever potential difference is decreased, so storage of charge naturally can be increased. So as a result, storage of charge can be increased means capacity increases. So due to polarization, an electric field known as polarization electric field. It is what I noted here as EP. So due to polarization, an electric field which is called polarization electric field is induced in opposite direction to the original electric field. And we have taken, already there is a potential here. The distance of separation is d. Now because of polarized electric field acting opposite to the direction of basic electric field, we will try to find out what happens thereafter. Now across the plates of the capacitor, you have two potentials. Already one potential is here. Due to this, another potential is created. There should be a net potential difference. So across the plates, if you take resultant PD, you call it as VD. Resultant potential difference you have taken as VD. So therefore you can find the capacitance as CD is equal to Q by VD, or CD is equal to A epsilon by D. So you have two expressions. Earlier with air as medium you got this expression, right? You call it as 1 or 2. This is second expression. Okay, so we will summarize this. So these are the equations we got. This is capacitance without dielectric. This is capacitance with dielectric. So therefore you take the ratio of these two. Ratio between mean. Ratio between capacities only. Capacitance, how you take with dielectric to without dielectric. So if you take, that is CD capacitance with dielectric by capacitance without dielectric. This is dielectric constant epsilon r. This is what is known as dielectric constant. So dielectric constant is nothing but the ratio of capacitance with dielectric to capacitance without dielectric. So CD by C naught is equal to epsilon r. Now the CD value or C naught value you can substitute from these two equations. Then what will happen from the above relations? That means from equations 1 and 2, if you substitute the values, CD by C naught is equal to 1 divided by other, that is Q by V naught, Q by VD by Q by V naught, or A epsilon D divided by D whole divided by A epsilon naught divided by D. Either way you can do. So this will come to around, denominator will come to the numerator. One is Q by VD divided by, means you can invert that, V naught by Q. In that way it will come to around V naught by VD. Therefore CD by C naught is what? Dielectric constant epsilon r. Therefore epsilon r is equal to V naught by VD. So therefore in that case already epsilon r is defined as ratio between capacitance with dielectric, capacitance without dielectric. Similarly here another definition is dielectric constant is the ratio between potential difference across the plates with the air medium to potential difference